Opportunity with Hello Fresh. Yeah. Well, how do you do it? I don't know. Let me get back to where now I'm lost. Hey, where's my? There I go. All right, back. Hi, you guys. What's up, everyone? Hi, you guys. Hi, 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 hi. Give me y'all. Y'all like my quarter zip? My mom got me this really cute pajama set for Christmas. Damn, she's a sexy cheetah. Damn, good. She's a sexy cheetah. My hair smells really good. But this part, it's like nothing happens until you go live. She's a sexy cheetah. Oh, how are you feeling? Are you feeling better? I am. You look so tired. I have had some crazy 2 days. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, but I'm sorry, but I am good. Everything is much better. I really don't want to talk about it or get into any details, but I'm good. I do look tired. Um, but I'm good. I missed you guys. I'm happy to see you guys. What's up? What's up? Hi, Dixon. How are you? So, hey, Charisma. I had a time. Okay, thank you. They don't look presentable right now. But my mom got me this really nice pajama set. It's a little too big, but I really like it. It's cute. Hi, hi. I don't have I'm never ready. I'm never ready. I got some funny videos for us to watch. I'm pissed. Security won't let me in my what? Why won't they? Hi, Roscoe. I'm okay. Hi. I haven't really been vaping like that. This vitamin, like I've been vaping, but I've cut back a lot of vape. Like y'all be proud of me. Like the vape is cut back. Thank you so much for the taps. Maya's in the house. Bigger is better than I'm fitting. Yes, it's really nice. I think my mom got it from she either got it from Target or Marshalls or one of them. Ill fitting, yes. Yeah, then those ill fitting women that we saw the other day. So I got some content for us to watch and let's hang out. And if y'all want to watch anything that y'all want to react to or want to watch together, please let me know because I be searching on the web thinking like what y'all will like, and then I just save it. I try not to watch it before I watch with y'all. Um, just so we can hang out. So I got a couple videos for us to watch, and I hope you guys enjoy them. Let's see. First segment is TV's most disturbing reality shows. I don't know. You're sweaty or is that lotion? This is lotion pretty much. I'm breaking out. Like if you could see, I'm breaking out.
It's one of the most controversial reality
I
shows
got
of
my
all
brew.
time. I think maybe the biggest
Y'all,
thing that
I've had the craziest 2 days. The craziest 2 days. Please hit the like if you don't mind, and if you could hype me up,
I
I
don't
would
like about the
appreciate it.
show is it seems to manipulate the contestants.
It's upsetting in a lot of ways. What this producer and all the people who worked for him did to this poor guy?
I don't know what your
Thank
values
you,
are, but
Dixon.
certainly
Thank
the
you,
show does
baby.
not fit in any set of
Leave
values.
it to like if you don't mind.
Most reality shows are about singing, cooking, or dancing, but others were created just to shock or disgust viewers. Some of these shows were so bad,
Mainstream,
viewers
I
sued
might.
the network for airing them. Today we're
The doctor gave me a pain. Hey, hi guys. The doctor gave me a pain medicine for my finger. So I might take it and do a slim stream.
diving into the worst. We'll look at
And
TV's
just
most
sit here and
disturbing
we just fall
reality
asleep
shows,
together,
starting
'cause
from the
these
least to
pajamas
the
are
most
so
shocking. So my
comfortable.
goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos without sacrificing quality. And in order for me to do that, we got to keep Visual Venture growing.
Hey,
So
Destiny's
75% of you guys aren't
channel.
subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you did. And I promise to give you more fire content on
I
Visual
miss you
Venture.
guys too.
You are
Please,
awesome.
no sleep
MILF
stream.
Manor.
Girl,
Google
they used to
MILF
love
Manor
me for
and
the
you'll see
sleep
headlines
stream before
like
you
MILF
came.
Manor is the worst thing I watched this year. MILF Manor is a show that should not exist and everyone involved is going straight to hell.
remember
And
this
people
show. I
might have
watched-
not been
I watched a
overreacting. Their biggest
reactor
problem was the
watching
show's
it.
insane concept. MILF Manor was a dating show that premiered in January 2023. It followed 8 women in their 40s and 50s who wanted to date younger men. So the producers handpicked a group of guys who seemed like
not a
perfect
robe.
matches.
It's a two-piece
Please head
pants
to the
and a
house
shirt.
where you will meet
it's a
the
quarter
new men
zip.
in your life. Let's go!
But as soon as the guys walked out, the show took a disgusting
Pew
turn.
pew. Pew pew.
That's my mom right there.
These weren't just
they're
random
comfortable.
young men. They were the contestants' own sons. They were the sons of the older women. That meant that every son had to watch his mother flirt,
I
kiss,
remember
and
this,
date
and he
right
looked
in
just like
front
his
of him.
mama.
And the moms had to watch their sons do the same.
I knew my son Gabriel was going to be in
I would love
Mexico.
to watch this with you guys. Oh my god, the cringe on my skin. Oh, the cringe. I would love to watch
With me.
this
I
with
thought he
y'all.
was going to be on a separate dating retreat.
Mama's
but
pretty.
He's in my dating pool.
Is she
But
black?
that was just
She
the
cute.
beginning. Instead of giving everyone separate rooms, the producer
Mom?
forced each mother and son to share a bedroom. So if a mom
She
wanted
looked
alone
black.
time with one of the other guys,
look at
she had to
mama.
kick her son out. Viewers were horrified, calling the show demented and weird. However, for the mothers and sons on the show, the experience was worse. By the second episode, one of the sons was
Two-
left legitimately
two girls could do
traumatized after
that,
finding out what his mother did. The
but
producers needed to keep
guys
the
can't
show
do that.
exciting, so in every episode, contestants were forced into awkward challenges.
mom and
in
a mom-
episode
a
2,
mom
they
and a
had
daughter
to
could
guess
do
each
that,
other's
but
inappropriate
you know what I'm saying?
secrets. That
And a dad and a daughter can do that for sure. Mm. I think it's more weird son and mom because it's like your mom and your son. Could I do that with my dad? I think I will be more easy for my dad getting his. I think that's weird.
meant that sons had to sit there and listen to their
Why do I have to
mom's
share a
bedroom
room? And I think
experiences
you
and
could
vice
easily,
versa.
like,
Obviously, it did not end well. During the challenge,
it's
one of the
sick.
moms confessed to doing something with her son's best friend.
Okay, my secret
I remember
is
this
I
clip.
sleep with your best friend.
He's cute too.
The son was speechless. He later told the show producers that he felt traumatized by the savage news.
This is something I
Wow.
never saw coming. I did not expect this at all. 0%.
That scene went viral and got everyone talking. Someone tweeted, "The pain in his face
That's
when his mom
disrespectful.
reveals her
She coulda
secret.
lied."
MILF Manor is going to ruin these families." But instead of hurting the show, the negative publicity
Mom
helped
in
it
the green
grow.
right
Soon,
here, Black
MILF Manor
Queen
was
look
one of
good.
the most popular shows of 2023. It was a train wreck, impossible to watch, yet impossible to look away from. This tweet said it
Asians are
best,
freaky.
MILF Manor being the single most demented, sick,
And
and
I
twisted
bet it was a black boy too.
television
I
show
want his
put
little
in
black
television in the
friends.
past 20 years. OMG, I will be seated for every episode. The first season, which aired on TLC, accumulated more than 45 million
Hey,
views. But people
Tyrone,
weren't
what's
watching
up?
because they
Ooh.
liked MILF Manor. They watched just to complain.
It seems to be unanimously the most twisted and show I've ever seen.
But the backlash didn't stop the producers from releasing MILF Manor Season 2 in 2024.
Crazy
This time,
work. I
the
know,
single
Dixon.
women were pursued by younger men and their fathers. Still weird, but in a
Ew.
different way. MILF Manor has a 14% rating on Rotten
That's not as
Tomatoes.
bad.
And although it hasn't been
Younger men and their father. So your father's gay? Too much.
And
Too
confirmed
much.
there's a chance MILF Manor Season 3 is already in the works. The show was a train wreck, but the worst part, these women had no control over their privacy.
cute.
And that's not just a reality TV problem, it is
Mom,
an
right there,
internet
sexy.
problem. Data brokers sell our personal information without us. My personal lead comes in, or stop you, let you down to my, that'll be, and would have saved me a ton of time and money.
Yes.
Everyone knew this next show would cause chaos
Cool,
because it
how you
involved
doing? I'm
kids,
okay.
but the
I've
producers went ahead and
Yesterday
made
was
it
crazy,
anyway.
but
Kid
everything is
Nation.
okay.
In 1954,
Being
someone
an adult
wrote a book about
sucks.
kids
That's all I
trying to
gotta say.
survive
Being
without
an
adults.
adult
It was called
kid.
Lord of the Flies. In the story, a bunch of
Sick.
kids decided to create their own society
Reality
on an
show's getting
island. But
crazy.
before long, everything
They
falls
gotta-
apart.
Yeah, you're right, because they gotta up the ante. They gotta up the ante. It's even with like content, a whole bunch of stuff. We see so much, you gotta up the ante. This in our grandparents' day and age, what we see will blow their fucking mind. Shit, sliced bread will blow their fucking mind. Well, not sliced bread for our grandparents, but you understand what I'm saying? Like they gotta keep the ante up. They gotta shock us. They gotta, we're not, and you know what I'm saying? And they probably was saying that back in the day too. They just had to keep upping the ante.
There's flare. They turn on each other and their society descends into chaos.
These
So
poor
everyone
children.
was shocked when CBS announced a reality show about kids building their own society. They called it Kid Nation. And no surprise, it was a complete disaster.
I've heard about that, but I've never seen
Kid
it.
Nation was filmed in an empty town in New Mexico. 40 of America's smartest children were dropped off and told to run the town for 40 days. There were no
Okay.
adults to help them, just a
That's
camera
cute.
crew who stayed out of the way. The kids were between the ages of 8 to 15.
Okay.
Imagine a world with no adults. Just 40 kids with a chance to build their own society.
Our work is cut out for us.
City kids, country kids, rich, poor, and everything in between.
At first, it felt like an adventure. The kids were in charge, making their own rules.
That's
But then
cool.
everything started to go wrong. The problem started
year
on
was this?
day
It look
one.
old.
As soon as they arrived,
This look
the
like I
kids
was a
were
kid
given
during
their
this time.
first
Why they ain't
physical
call me?
challenge: haul all of their food and supplies
Oh,
to the
shit.
abandoned town in the middle of the desert heat. But that was
Aw.
just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm not gonna be with my parents. There's no adults. And
so cute.
I think I'm gonna die out here because there's
Old
nothing.
now.
When it was bedtime, they were given paper-thin, dirty mattress pads to sleep on. Food wasn't any better. They were only given canned goods and dried beans and had to learn how to prepare their own meals.
Well, when we first started planning for dinner, I realized that a lot of us haven't done anything like this before.
Then there was the issue of medical care. With no parents around, they were left to treat their own injuries. Medics were on standby, but they only stepped in when things got really bad. With each passing day, Kid Nation got more chaotic. Kids ate with their hands because there were no clean dishes. Fights broke out, and someone was always complaining about something.
I don't see any food. No food.
Uh-oh.
It looks like all our laundry and all our water is frozen in.
But instead of stopping the show, producers just recorded the chaos.
I
And then
love
the
it.
police arrived to shut it all down. A
Thank
few
you,
weeks into
Jacquees.
filming,
What's
New
up?
Mexico officials received an anonymous complaint
Why
about the
keep calling you
conditions at Kid
Jacquees? They
Nation.
look like
When
Jacquees
inspectors
to me.
showed up to
My
investigate, they were
exact-
turned away several times. Eventually, the show's
Jacquees?
producers
What is your
were able
name?
to get law enforcement to back off. So, the mayhem continued.
I think the town definitely really needs some law and order because the people are just doing whatever they want, whenever they want.
Yeah.
The kids
y'all gotta
formed
get
their own
together.
government by electing a town council, but all it did was create new problems and fights.
I find that really funny that you say you were nice to everybody on day one. You treat me like I'm not gonna treat you good.
The show lasted 6 weeks, but if things got too intense, any
6
child
weeks
could
a long
choose
time.
to go home. So 3 kids quit before the show officially ended. Kid Nation finally aired on CBS in September 2007, and it caused an
Oh, I could
uproar.
have been on this show. I could have been on this show. I was a kid in 2007.
Viewers weren't just shocked. They accused the show of breaking the law. Child safety advocates accused the show of violating child labor laws. But the network saw this coming and made sure they were protected. CBS defended Kid Nation, claiming the set was more like a summer camp rather than a place of employment. Before filming, they also had the kids' parents sign a 22-page waiver giving up all
Wow.
rights to sue.
Yes, I
Still,
was a
viewers
kid.
complained that this show was too reckless and that
2007.
contestants could have been seriously hurt. The backlash was so intense that CBS never made a second season. This next show took the idea of beauty and pushed it way too far. The Swan. What happens when you mix plastic surgery
My mom used to watch the show.
and beauty pageants? You get this horrible
This was
show.
my
The Swan
show.
was
I
a
wanted to
reality
do this
show
show
where
when I
women
got
got
older.
plastic surgery to
'Cause I was
compete in
fat
a
back
beauty
then.
pageant, and every step of the process was recorded for the world to see. But
Damn,
what aired
you
on
were
TV
too
was so
damn old. I was
unsettling, it
not
was
too
called
damn
the most
old. I was
sadistic
just right,
reality
girl.
series of the
I was
decade.
just
Each
right.
episode began with the show selecting women they called ugly ducklings.
I've got hair. I feel completely unbearably disgusted with myself.
For 3 months, these women
Girl, your
went through an
hormones are
extreme
just imbalanced. I
makeover with
used
a
to
team
have
that included a
hair.
personal trainer, therapist, dentist,
Hair.
and cosmetic
Look at these
surgeons. But the biggest
sideburns.
part of their
This is what you call a real woman, okay? Look at these sideburns. These are the sideburns of a real woman. Okay, these bitches be getting wigs to. If I really wanted to, shit, I could. Man, it's a little nappy right now. All I need is a little bit of chop, bald spots. Bitch, look at these motherfucking baby hairs. Okay, please.
transformation involved plastic surgery.
I like girl sideburns.
Women went under
Thank
the knife
you. I
with
could-
dramatic transformations, going from ugly ducklings, that's the phrase the show used, to beautiful swans.
Contestants
my
got
hair.
new
That's why my
noses,
hair's
cheek
all fluffy.
implants, lip injections,
All
and
this
other
good-
jobs, all
good-
done at the same
They
time. It was
call this good African American. Yes. A little bit of slave master, but it's African American.
wasn't fun. Contestants were pressured into surgeries they didn't want. One woman was scolded by one of the plastic surgeons for refusing a nose job. Another woman felt
I don't wanna get a
mounting
nose
pressure
job.
from the show to continue getting more work done to her body. But things didn't get any easier after the surgeries either. For 3 months, contestants were completely isolated from their friends and family, only allowed brief phone calls each week. But the strangest part was that they weren't allowed to literally see themselves.
That's
Every
scary.
mirror they came across was covered. On top of that, they endured
These
intense
producers are
workouts, strict
amazing.
diets, and therapy sessions. If they didn't keep up, the coaches would tear into them. One contestant was harshly scolded just for ordering cream cheese. It was a complete emotional shock. At the end of the 3 months, their final transformation was revealed. It was like going to
I
bed and
remember her
waking up
episode.
looking
She
like
looked
a
good.
different person.
I remember. Oh yeah, and then they had a pageant.
No way.
This was my show. I was insecure.
Oh my god.
They look cute.
But the show wasn't over yet. Each season, 9
Yeah.
contestants were chosen to move on to the Swan Beauty Pageant. Those who didn't
Yes.
qualify
This
for
was
the
good
pageant were
TV,
simply
child.
sent home with
This
no
was
further
good
support. That was pretty cruel
TV.
considering they just went through
They don't
life-changing
do it like this no
surgeries.
more.
And the people that they bring on to the show
Oh, I love him.
to undergo all these procedures do have sometimes profound psychological issues that they
Yeah.
need help to work through. And this is not something that you can do in a 2.5-month program.
Some contestants
Mm-hmm.
later said they struggled with depression after the show ended. But the show didn't
love
care.
him.
They focused on the women who made it to the Swan pageant.
gotta go
And for
to the
those
shower
women,
or I'm
well,
just
things
gonna-
didn't
no.
get any better for them either. Instead of celebrating each contestant's journey,
I
the
just
show
got out the
turned their
shower.
transformations
Oh, I
into a
remember her.
competition, adding more pressure to an already stressful experience.
And we've been, relying on each other, and then all of a sudden they're going to pit us against each other, not by our choices.
The Swan pageant
Oh,
was
the
a
Swan
standard
girls?
beauty contest with
Damn.
categories like evening gowns,
Hey.
swimsuit, and lingerie. Whoever it was
You could do. They proving no matter what man do, God got the final say.
considered the most transformed woman at the end was crowned the winner.
You used to watch these shows too. Charisma, you be hating. Oh yes.
The first season premiered in April 2004, and it was
I'm
a hit,
12
averaging
years old.
9.1 million viewers a week. Despite the high ratings, it
I was
also received a
watching it. I
ton
was
of
a
negative
kid.
comments.
The show stirred a major controversy, particularly over the ugly duckling crap.
Oh, yeah.
Critics called it hurtful and repellent. Mental health experts said it promoted dangerous beauty standards.
But the whole setup and the people standing back there, it
Why
seems
you
so
always
contrived
dress
and
old
fake
as you
that I
are
just
young?
don't
This is
like it.
cute.
Even
This is
plastic
young.
surgeons
This is Juicy
spoke out,
Couture.
saying it
What
was
are you
risky
talking
to
about?
put contestants through so many
Dress
surgeries in
old.
such a short time. After 2 seasons of
This is
non-stop
cute,
criticism, The
comfortable,
Swan
and it's
was
Juicy
canceled.
Couture.
But as time passed, its reputation only got worse. Entertainment Weekly ranked it the worst reality television show ever produced.
stop
This next show
crying.
wasn't just deemed disturbing by the public. I think we can all agree that the premise itself was meant to be as shocking as possible. My Strange Addiction.
Yeah.
Every episode of My Strange...
Shit, we got bitches on My Strange Addiction here on YouTube. They over here got a bucket full of soap and just doing like that, eating soap and shit. Y'all know that one lady. Bless
Addiction
her heart.
was either
Seemed like a
tragic,
nice lady,
creepy,
skin
or
all
shocking,
fucked up,
sometimes all
face
three.
full
The show
of porn
traveled
stars
across
and
the
chalk.
country searching for people with the
Yes,
strangest addictions
absolutely.
imaginable. The producers didn't want
That's a
common
good show.
struggles like gambling or substance use. They wanted addictions that would shock viewers to the core. And for 6 seasons, My
TLC
Strange
had the
Addiction
best
delivered
shows.
exactly that, showcasing the strangest addictions ever seen on TV. One of the most unforgettable episodes followed a woman named Cassie. She recently lost her husband, and in her grief, she became addicted to eating his ashes.
First, I lick my finger. And I don't just dip it in. I swirl around to kind of feel and get it caked on there good. And then I just eat it.
Then there was Nathaniel, who was in a romantic relationship with his car. He kissed the car.
Girl, how long have you? Oh no, she lying because how long have you had this addiction enough to be on the show? That's a lie. Oh, hold on, my arm. That's a lie because you're gonna run out of his ashes sooner or later. You can't buy. You're gonna run out. What you gonna do then? His ashes all around the bag. You not, and that's not just his ashes. It's also the casket too. You eating the casket, the bedding in the casket, all mixed together. And you know what? Sometimes you might got somebody else in there too. You might got a little somebody else mixed in there too, with a little bit of Miss Somebody Else in there too.
I took it on dates and even got intimate with it.
Oh yeah,
It was
I
love at
remember
first
this
sight.
episode.
His body and then his interior and everything just together just seemed to fit. And I just felt an instant connection.
So
Some
now
addictions
you
were
in
more
love with
about
your car, but you're gay because your car's a guy. It's a lot.
appearances. One man spent thousands of dollars on surgery to look like a celebrity.
Some people buy fancy cars or fancy mansions, and
Why
what I
was
do
he
with my
today
money
with
is
Justin
I
Bieber
get surgery
today?
to look more like Justin Bieber.
Then there was a woman who ate beds, literally.
Yeah.
My name is Jennifer, and I'm addicted to eating mattresses.
Some of these addictions weren't just strange, they were dangerous. A woman named Lori couldn't fall asleep without her blow dryer turned on next to her. Firefighters warned her it was a serious fire hazard, but she couldn't stop.
She, one night, turned on this blow dryer, and the sound of it, the warmth of it, just instantly put me to sleep.
I ain't gonna hold her. The blow dry do be feeling good. I can't even lie. The blow dryer do be feeling good.
And from that night
She
forward,
not
I was
lying, but I
hooked.
The show
never put in my
quickly
bed.
became a hit. With each
Your
episode, the
bed's
addictions got
crazy.
stranger and more shocking.
Mine
But
must be
then
drunk
one
again.
addiction
I'm
was
not
so
drunk.
bizarre that
Chilling.
viewers started to wonder if the entire show was fake. In season 3, episode 27, a woman appeared on the show with a not-so-safe craving.
My name is Shannon. I'm 20 years old, and I'm addicted to drinking gasoline.
This episode was so outrageous it made people start asking questions. A core user wrote, "Can someone actually drink gasoline daily without ending? I just can't believe she's walking and talking normally. This has to be fake, right?" That person wasn't alone. On Reddit, there was a whole conversation.
I had a strange addiction to smelling whiteout. Oh, and it had to be the whiteout. It's not just any whiteout. It's the whiteout where it says whiteout and it's a tube and it's green and it got that little sponge. Ooh, that shit smell good.
About if the show was fake. I mean, how could someone
just see
eat
me
a
like
mattress and not end up in the hospital? And that
Right.
led to an even bigger question. If these addictions were real, was the show actually helping anyone or just using their
had to
struggles
be
for
that
entertainment? Most shows about addiction
Anyway.
try to help people recover. My Strange Addiction didn't. It just filmed their struggles and moved on. The show pretended to care. Toward the end of the show, a therapist is usually brought in to assess the addiction and advise on the best course of action for the individuals to take. But most of the time, the therapist's advice wasn't helpful. One critic said it best. Afflictions
I
are
think I seen you
fascinating,
on
but too
Western
much
Blue
time is
driving-
spent gawking at their odd
driving a
behavior
blue
as
truck
opposed
over
to
there at
treating
the
it.
food
Only in the
fest.
final moments do
I was driving- I
therapists
think
pay
I
visit
saw
and they oversimplified things by
Western
suggesting
driving
exercise
a
and
blue
journaling.
truck
After
over
6
there.
seasons, My
No.
Strange Addiction ended in 2015. Till today, clips from the show still go viral. But no one can answer the biggest question. Were the addictions on the show real,
think
or
so,
was the the entire show one big scam. This next show was built on a foundation of lies and deception.
TLC be lying.
Scare Tactics.
Oh,
From 2003 to 2013, Scare Tactics aired 114 episodes. And in every single one, the goal was the same, to terrify people like never before.
Welcome to Scare Tactics, where the cameras are
MTV
hidden
was so
and people's
good.
everyday fears are exposed.
It was a hidden camera show that lured people into terrifying
I was on my
situations.
laptop
They
watching
thought they
the
were being hunted
horizontal,
by
but
monsters, abducted by
really?
aliens, or haunted by ghosts.
go over
And it was their
there.
own friends and family that set them up.
I'm sorry.
Each episode began with a setup.
Well, I wanted to set up Ryan tonight on Scare Tactics because he always thinks he is so big and bad, and like I just wanted to prove to everyone once and for all, like, you know, he's not as hardcore as he always thinks that he is.
The show went all out, using actors, costumes, and special effects to make everything feel
nice on
real.
the
The prank
laptop.
always started
Thank
with
you.
something
I'm
normal, like a job interview or a car ride, and suddenly
back.
things
It's hard
took
to
a
do
terrifying turn.
No, I have nothing to do with it. You want my formula? You want my formula?
And just when the victim was about to lose it, the actors dropped the
Too
iconic
late.
line, "You're on Scare Tactics."
Because you're on Scare Tactics.
He would scare me.
Are you serious? Your boyfriend Matt set you up.
One of the worst pranks involved a rat monster experiment. The person being set up was hired as an assistant in a mysterious lab. Everything seemed fine until one of the experiments escaped.
There's like a little monster man running around in here. What was it?
Most viewers thought it was hilarious. Some felt the show was going too far with their scares. And then one day, Scare Tactics scared someone so much she sued the show. In March 2002, Scare Tactics picked their next target, Cara Blanc, a grade school teacher. With help from her friends, they lured Cara to an isolated location. Then out of nowhere, an actor in an alien costume jumped out. Cara panicked. The alien chased her everywhere. At the last second, the actors revealed it was all fake. Everyone else laughed, but Cara wasn't amused. She was furious and she wanted payback. Cara sued the show, claiming that she had to be hospitalized for physical injuries as well as severe
always gotta be
emotional
one
distress. She also asked the court to stop her episode from ever airing. In the end, Scare Tactics paid Cara a low 7-figure sum, and her episode was never shown. Since then, more people have complained about the show, raising points like, what if someone had a medical condition? What if they fought back and hurt the actors? But everyone was usually always fine in the end. Even the ones who cried usually laughed when they realized it was all fake. So far, there's been 5 seasons of Scare Tactics. And in October 2024, it was revived for a 6th season.
Laugh it up. You could be next.
I admit, I used to watch this next show back in the day, and I'm surprised it wasn't canceled. Fear Factor. Fear Factor made
We all
people
love Fear
face their
Factor.
worst fears for a chance to win $50,000
everybody on
US
the
dollars. But
horizontal.
these weren't ordinary fears, they were extreme.
You're going to climb that 110-foot tower. You will walk to the edge of the platform, and you will leap from the edge and grab a hold of that cargo net.
What?
You'll be jumping
Helium? I
twice
did
your
not
body
sniff
weight.
helium.
Even the
Get that
host,
money,
Joe
Tara.
Rogan, thought something bad could have happened because the stunts were so risky. Luckily, no one got seriously hurt. Still, a lot of terrible things happened because of Fear Factor. Fear Factor premiered on NBC in June 2001, right when reality TV was starting to take off. NBC
Yes.
wanted a show so wild, so extreme that no one could ignore it. So they created Fear Factor.
This watching them bring me back to like a safe place where I didn't have to pay bills. I was scared. Life was good.
In each
Good
episode,
TV.
6 contestants faced 3 scary challenges. If the contestant was too afraid to complete a stunt, they were eliminated. If they failed a stunt, they were eliminated. Before the stunts even started, contestants had to sign a waiver. The waiver stated that no matter what happened, injury or worse, contestants couldn't sue the show. They signed and the madness began.
I'm Joe Rogan. This is Fear Factor. The stunts you're about to see were all designed and supervised by trained professionals.
But he was short.
They are extremely dangerous and should not be attempted by anyone, anywhere,
At any time.
Each episode started with a crazy physical challenge. Contestants had to do things like hang upside down over 100 feet in the air. The second challenge always involved something disgusting, and the final stunt was the toughest. It combined fear and physical endurance. Every challenge was intense, but what really made Fear Factor famous were the disgusting challenges. No one was prepared for how wild they were.
Extremely nervous because I know it's not going to be fun.
It's gonna be terrifying.
In one episode, contestants had to eat sheep eyes.
bitch.
The camera zoomed in, capturing every gag and chew, but they were just getting started.
Come on, harness my man up. Give him a helmet. Let's go. Let's do it. Put a helmet on him.
We have people fly cars across a train, a moving train. Okay, there's risk involved in that, right?
Contestants could back out of a challenge anytime. No one was forcing them, but most refused to quit. However, only one person could win the $50,000 prize. Because of these extreme challenges, Joe Rogan expected the series to be canceled after just a few episodes. But he was wrong. Fear Factor was a massive hit. The first 4 seasons were so popular that it became the first network reality show to be syndicated, which means that it aired on other television networks. The show also made Joe Rogan a household name. Then it finally happened. Fear Factor was sued for an episode that went too far. In January 2005, a 49-year-old man watched an episode where contestants drank blended rats. He was so disgusted that he felt dizzy and lightheaded. In his confusion, he ran into a doorway. He blamed Fear Factor for his injury and sued them for $2.5 million. He said he sued to send a message to NBC and other networks about their programming. However, his case didn't go far. A judge dismissed the lawsuit, calling it frivolous. By the 5th season, viewers were losing interest in Fear Factor. Ratings were dropping. More people criticized the challenges. By 2006, NBC had enough. Fear Factor was canceled after the 6th season. But the show refused to die. In 2011, NBC brought it back, but it was canceled again after 1 season. Then in 2017, Fear Factor returned on MTV, but it lasted only 2 seasons before getting cast as this next show, Susunoo Denpa Shonen. Reality shows are supposed to be fun, but Susunoo Denpa Shonen was more like torture. And I am not exaggerating. It was literally described as this. The whole point was to push people to their breaking point. Every season, new contestants were thrown into extreme challenges to see how long they would last before breaking down. Meanwhile, millions of viewers watched from home entertained. The show ran from 1998 to 2002, and every season was brutal. But season 1 was the worst. The first season aired in January 1998. It was called Denpa Shonen: A Life in Prizes. The contestant was a 22-year-old man nicknamed Nasubi. The producers wanted someone desperate for fame, someone willing to take on a mysterious challenge without asking too many questions. Nasubi was perfect. He was an unknown comedian trying to make it big. When producers offered him the opportunity to be on TV, he figured it was his big break. Since it was a new show, the producers explained the rules to Nasubi. He would be locked in a tiny apartment without furniture or appliances. He would have no food, no clothing, and no contact with the outside world. His only way to survive would be by entering magazine sweepstakes and winning prizes.
How do people come up with shit like that? I wish I had a way to come up with shit like that. How do you come up with shit like that for a TV show where this man is locked in a room for a certain amount of time? The only way he could survive is to enter into sweepstake contests like on boxes and shit. How do you come up with that?
Enter contests where you had a chance to win prizes, but there's a catch. The prizes are completely random. You could enter a sweepstake hoping to win a car, but instead you might win a box of ramen noodles. You never know what you're going to get. That was Nasubi's reality.
Before he was all that, he was on Fear Factor. Fear Factor was how we were introduced to Joe Rogan, baby.
If he won food, he could eat. If he didn't, he went hungry. If he won clothes, he could wear them. Producers told Nasubi he would be released once he won 1 million yen worth of prizes. That was equivalent to around $8,000 at the time. They also promised the footage wouldn't be streamed live. Instead, they would record everything, edit it down, and turn it into a television special. But that was a lie. It was like a real-life Truman Show. It was broadcasted live.
Unbeknownst to him, the show was broadcast weekly across Japan to more than 15 million viewers.
Nasubi thought he was signing up for a challenge. Instead, he became the subject of a twisted social experiment. Nasubi expected to win 1 million yen in prizes in a couple of days. Then he would be released. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months, and he wasn't winning much. Viewers watched as Nasubi filled countless sweepstake entry forms, celebrating with a dance each time he won a prize.
crazy.
Unfortunately, most of his prizes were bizarre or useless in his situation, like a tent too large to unfold in his room or a bicycle without any space to ride. He barely won food. He sometimes went days without eating, and when Asobi finally won a piece of meat, he was overjoyed.
How you win meat? Save it.
He also had no human interaction, so he talked to himself and the camera. After a couple of months, it seemed Nasubi was slowly losing his mind. All this time, he had no idea that 15 million viewers around Japan were watching his every move. Nasubi knew the door was open and that he could leave if he wanted to, but he kept going, determined to reach his goal.
At first, I was excited, and I was thinking about all kinds of things, like how to do something funny in this space. After about a week, I began to worry about whether I could really continue this on my own.
It took Nasubi 15 months to win enough prizes to be set free. 15 months of isolation and hardship. Nasubi's story is the most infamous, but other contestants went through extreme challenges too. In one season, two men had to hitchhike all the way from South Africa to Norway. In another, contestants were stranded on a desert island and told to build a raft to escape. These weren't just challenges, they were life or death situations disguised as entertainment. Despite the cruelty, Susumu Denpa Shonen was a hit in Japan. Viewers loved watching it. But over time, people started to condemn the show. It felt morally wrong to push people to their limits just for entertainment.
16 months, 15 months is crazy.
What this producer and all the people who worked for him did to this poor guy.
The show finally ended in 2002, but it's considered the ultimate example of how far a reality show will go for attention. Some reality shows take things way too far, and I believe that entertainment should never come at the expense of someone's well-being, because when the cameras turn off, the damage stays. Visual Venture. If you guys like this video, you guys would probably like my video, Documentaries Banned for Being Too Disturbing, right here. Thank you guys for every—
Let's watch this one. Hold on. Let's watch this one. This sounds interesting. They interesting. I'm hungry.
Can a documentary be so real, so terrifying that it gets banned? Well, many
Sorry, I had like a whole playlist, but his videos are really good. Y'all want to watch documentaries banned for being too disturbing? Because I'm interested.
Documentary films have been banned for that exact reason. But it makes you wonder, what's in those documentaries that makes them too disturbing to watch? These are documentaries banned for being too disturbing, ranked from the least shocking to the most shocking. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. Mondo Kane.
Thank you.
When Mondo Kane came out, it was called the world's first shockumentary, and that wasn't a compliment. A shockumentary is a documentary meant to shock and disgust its audience. The more disgusted the audience is, the better the shockumentary. So the question is, what was in Mondo Kane that made it so disgusting?
Krispy Kreme donuts. Ooh, that sounds good. I can bake some cookies. I do have some cookies that I have. I can't get Krispy Kreme. But I have a little bit of cookies. Crenshaw King. Hi, what's up? Hello. But then that's going to take a lot. Not really. Right on. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Is a spectacle as big as the eye can see.
Mondo Kane was produced in 1962 by a team of Italian filmmakers. Initially, they told everyone that they were making a documentary about different cultures around the world. That sounded innocent enough. However, people began to realize that this was no ordinary documentary when they first heard the title Mondo Kane. Mondo Kane is an Italian phrase that literally translates to dog world. But it wasn't just about the dogs, it had a much darker meaning. The director titled the documentary Dog World to show that humans can be just as wild and cruel as animals. In this case, dog world meant a harsh world where people acted like beasts, kind of like saying a dog-eat-dog world. Mondo Kane wasn't just about different cultures from around the world. It focused on the most violent and disturbing practices. It was a collection of footage displaying mankind at its most depraved and perverse. Once the documentary was ready, posters popped up all over Italy, inviting people to watch it in theaters.
Hurry, hurry, hurry!
You're just in time, friends, to see the most sensational, the most colossal attraction ever witnessed by the human eye.
Even though the ads warned about how unsettling the movie was, people wanted to see it for themselves. But they weren't ready for what they witnessed when Mondo Cane finally aired in theaters. The film premiered in Italy on March 30th, 1962, and it was 108 minutes of non-stop shock. It showed the filmmakers traveling the world, capturing the most gruesome footage from different tribes. The documentary opened with a chilling disclaimer. All the scenes you will see in this film are true. If they're shocking, it's only because there are many shocking things in this world.
The duty of a reporter is not to make the truth seem sweeter, but to show things as they really are.
And they weren't kidding. In one scene, women were fattened up with food until they weighed over 264 pounds. Then they were offered as wives to the village dictator. There was a religious ceremony where villagers walked in a parade while holding live snakes. Another scene showed people burning money during a funeral so the deceased person could take the money into the afterlife.
Here, after hundreds of dark centuries, men discover for the first time in their lives that they have a doubt.
The film also included scenes of animals being treated badly. Mondo Cane definitely delivered on its promise. It was shocking, disgusting, and soon everyone was talking about it.
Mondo Cane. People all over the world are talking about Mondo Cane. For Mondo Cane has more in it to talk about than any picture ever before seen.
But the same thing that made the documentary famous also led to its downfall. When Mondo Cane became the talk of the town, it also generated a lot of controversy. The first problem, critics hated it. They called it gross and uncivilized. And with very graphic scenes, it's easy to see why. But that wasn't the only issue. Soon, people started to wonder if everything in the documentary was actually real. There were rumors that some scenes were staged or edited to make things look worse than they really were. The filmmakers were also accused of exploiting the tribes they filmed. Critics said they were only showing this footage to make money without caring about the cultures they were showing. And as more people watched it, the backlash got stronger. Many countries banned the documentary. For instance, Mondo Cane was banned in the UK because some scenes showed animals being treated inappropriately. The filmmakers defended their work, saying that they were just showing the world as it really is. Now, more than 60 years later, Mondo Cane is still one of the most disturbing documentaries ever made, and it's still banned in many places to this day. This audience review on Rotten Tomatoes says it best. This is still the quintessential shockumentary. If you have a strong stomach, watch this flick, but if you have any hesitations, hold back. Mondo Cane was so strange that people called it crazy, but this next documentary actually featured people who were diagnosed as crazy. Mondo Cane and these documentaries to come show us an unsettling view of the world. When the world feels overwhelming, something as simple as enjoying a meal without the stress of cooking can make all the difference. Be honest, guys, I don't cook. I mean, I guess if it's nutritious, you guys, and 20% off your next month of orders with my discount code VISUAL50. Big thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. Titicut Follies. Imagine spending 29 days inside a mental hospital in the 60s filming everything you see. That's what happened in 1966 when the crew of Titicut Follies recorded 80 hours of raw footage showing what happens inside a mental hospital. But before the public could see what they filmed, the documentary was buried. But why? The story of Titicut Follies started in 1966 when Frederick Wiseman made a huge decision. He was going to quit his job as a lawyer and become a filmmaker. Wiseman wanted his first project to be a documentary, but he chose a really weird place to film, the Bridgewater State Hospital for the Criminally Insane in Massachusetts. Although it had never been done before, Wiseman somehow convinced the head of the mental hospital to allow him to film there. But there was one condition: the camera crew would have to be followed by hospital staff at all times during filming. They agreed and the filming began, but if the filmmakers knew the depravity waiting inside the hospital, they never would have gone in.
It's not fake. If it's fake, it's fake then. Okay, if it's real,
Bridgewater wasn't just any hospital. It held patients who committed crimes but also had serious mental illnesses, making it hard for them to understand right from wrong. Instead of going to regular prisons, they were sent to places like Bridgewater to get treatment. This meant the inmates were dangerous criminals. But when the camera started rolling, the crew was shocked at how helpless these so-called dangerous criminals really were. Bridgewater Hospital was run more like a prison than a hospital. Instead of being treated, the inmates inmates were bullied, humiliated, and neglected by the staff. The inmates were also left in unhygienic conditions. It was clear that the staff had no sympathy for them. One of the most haunting scenes in the documentary showed an inmate being force-fed while a guard made fun of him. Wiseman tried to stay professional even though what he saw deeply disturbed him. The way the patients were treated was wrong, but the staff didn't seem to care that the camera was catching all of it.
60s.
With the help of cameraman John Marshall, the two-man team recorded interviews between patients and staff, daily rituals such as the cleaning of patients' rooms, and interactions between the inmates.
Explosion. It was about the chaos that would follow, the hunger, the violence, and the collapse of law and order would look like after a nuclear attack. So, why would someone make a documentary like this? Most documentaries are made because the director is passionate about the topic. But this one was different. Peter Watkins, the director, didn't want to make a film about a nuclear attack. His bosses at the BBC made him do it. The BBC, or British Broadcasting Corporation, was like the official TV network of Britain. Their job was to keep people informed. In 1965, the British public was worried about what would happen if a nuclear bomb hit the United Kingdom. In response to these fears, the BBC asked filmmaker Peter Watkins to create a documentary that would explore this terrifying possibility. The BBC didn't just want to talk about what could happen, they wanted to show it. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but things didn't go as planned. Because the documentary Peter Watkins created was so terrifying, it was banned. Peter Watkins, who was only 29, was one of the best documentary filmmakers in Britain. He was so talented that people said he could make films in the same sort of way that Mozart could compose music. In other words, Peter Watkins was a genius. When the BBC ordered Watkins to make a scary documentary about a nuclear attack, he took it very seriously, maybe too seriously. He worked with scientists, experts, and government officials to make the war game as realistic as possible.
9:16 a.m. A single megaton nuclear missile overshoots Manston Airfield in Kent and airbursts 6 miles from this position.
It probably wasn't even that scary, I bet, for the day's times. I bet we can watch this. I bet we can watch this and sit like this. Because we see a lot.
The documentary showed people hiding in fear, neighborhoods destroyed, and people becoming ill. There were also scenes of citizens looting shops, firestorms, and whole cities reduced to rubble. Food supplies run out, and the police are armed. Even those who escape injury go into a state of fear and shock from the things they've seen. Throughout the documentary, a narrator explains how these events could really happen if a nuclear war occurred.
December the 25th.
How many?
A refugee compound in Dover, Kent. 4 months after the
20.
attack.
Watkins worked hard on the project. He used 350 actors, skilled video editing, and dramatic sound effects to create a masterpiece. When Watkins finished the War Game documentary, he proudly presented it to his bosses at the BBC. He thought they'd be impressed, maybe even reward him for doing such a great job, but the response he got was much harsher. The BBC, who asked him to make the film, refused to air it on TV. They decided to bury the documentary to make sure no one ever saw it. The official reason for this decision? They claimed the documentary was too terrifying and would cause panic among the public. In an official statement, the BBC insisted that it had reached this decision on its own and without outside pressure of any kind. Watkins was devastated, but there was nothing he could do because the BBC owned the rights to the video. Watkins was so upset that he resigned. However, people started to wonder if the BBC's reason was the whole truth. Was it really banned for being too scary, or was there more to it? Will declassified government documents later reveal the truth? After Watkins completed the documentary, he handed it over to the BBC. The BBC then invited top British government officials to watch it before it was shown on television. This to be a huge mistake because the government officials hated it. The documentary showed the British government completely falling apart during a nuclear attack, unable to help citizens. It made the government look weak and unprepared. If the British public saw the movie, they would lose faith to protect them. The declassified documents were government pressured the BBC to keep the documentary hidden from the entire country. Although the BBC couldn't air it on British TV, they allowed the documentary to be shown at several film festivals abroad. For 20 years, the ban on the war game stayed in place. It wasn't until